Peace, power, and prosperity, y'all. Rob Black Store out here celebrating this super moon and these retrogrades that we going through. I've smoking on marijuana, but I'm also smoking on some of my mama's cooking. So the marijuana also has some mugwort. It has some damiana. And mugwort and damiana help with psychic abilities, lucid dreaming, astral traveling, sleep, rest, but also opening up the pineal gland, opening up the third eye, opening up the crown chakra. Not only have I spoken about Mama's Cooking, which is literally hoodoo. Shout out to Kwame Brown. Shout out to Kwame Brown. Showing us black men images of manhood in these days and time when we really need it. Right? And talking about the importance of mothers and mothering. The importance of mothers and mothering. And when we're talking about mothers and mothering, what are we talking about? Well, first of all, mothering is nurturing. Nurturing, when you said you were raised well. When people say, who raised you? We're talking about mothering. We're talking about nurturing. How have you been nurtured? Right? The Cometians visualize mothering as being seated in your mother's lap, suckling on her breast, nurturing, getting that breast milk in order to strengthen your bones, but more importantly, strengthen your mind, because the breast milk is similar to the colostrum. That is what they call the crown of thorns on your brain. The crown of thorns that is literally in your brain. You could Google that, look it up. It's called the colostrum. The colostrum, the Saint Claus, the Santa Claus that is in your very brain. That is as significant as the breast milk from your mother if you were breastfed. Now, some of y'all wasn't breastfed. That's okay. You still have the ability now to tap in, just like I'm doing. You could get this mugwort. You could get this dabiana and tap into the psychic realms yourself. Not only that, but I'm tapping into the mushroom realm, the magic mushroom realm right now. And this is how I'm celebrating. I'm on a shamanic journey right now. And I'm going from my past. I'm healing my past trauma because Pluto's in retrograde. And that is power, death, transformation. Because Saturn is going retrograde. So let's start again. So Pluto is retrograde. So that's where have I sourced my power? What needs to die? What needs to transform? And what my past, those things that I source power from. Some of y'all source your power from being energy vampires. You don't even know it. You don't even know it. Some of y'all source your powers from being energy vampires and you have no clue that that's what you're doing. And the reason, if there's three people, one person is an energy vampire. There's three people in together, one person is an energy vampire and they're feeding off the other two people. And these are the persons that are the cynics, that don't believe in anything. When you tell them something, they have a smart remark or they question it or they just don't believe in it. These are the people that don't really show you care and concern unless it's for them, unless it's for things that they're going through. These are the people that are only around when they need something from you. These are the people that are not truly your friends. And friendship is integrity. Friendship is respecting boundaries. And friendship is effective communication as well. Friendship is trust. Friendship is loyalty. So these people that are energy vampires, you know them by how you feel when you're around them. You feel drained, right? There's a lot of people that are like that. You could be an energy vampire. What are you tuned into all the time? Are you tuned into bad news all the time? Are you tuned into fight videos all the time? Are you tuned into all the wrongs in the world all the time? Are you tuned into all the conspiracy videos about what's the next negative thing going to happen? Or are you focusing on what's the next great thing that could happen for you? Pluto's going retrograde. Going retrograde. Let me light this back up. Pluto's going retrograde. Saturn's going retrograde. These are the things that's happening right now. Saturn dealing with restrictions, discipline, limitations, society in general, rules. How have these things defined you in their past? Do they still work? Or are they outdated? Do they need to be rebuilt or reformed? Whether the full moon is Sagittarius, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is the biggest planet in the solar system. We're dealing with growth. We're dealing with expansion. We're dealing with luck. We're dealing with optimism. That we could transmute and be the alchemist that we say we are and transmute these things within us, and we could transmute our past pains. Do you know we have ancestral trauma that goes down? This is scientific fact, peer-reviewed fact, that goes back generations. That goes back generations. That we have to heal, and now, right now, we have the time. Even if you watch this late, you have the time. Until sometime tomorrow, in the next 3 days, because the energy will still be alive, and the ancestors are here now to help you. Your ancestors within your blood, within your body. They are crying out and asking for you to seek their assistance, and they will help you, and they will give you the answers, and they will give you, through dreams, through shit that you just hear, through divinations, through readings, through others, through situations, the answers and the help that you need in whatever situation that you're going through. But you got to tap in to your Baba's cooking. And that's that hoodoo that Kwame Brown was talking about. And you could big up another black man. You could big up another black man and it not be dick riding. Let's get that straight. You could big up another black man and it's not dick riding. So we need to get that straight. We need to stop that bullshit. You could big up another black man, it's not dick riding. If you know that you're God and you know that your light shines, you are able to see the light in others. And you are going to be gravitated toward that light that you see in another as well. So you could complement that light because everything is a reflection of you. In this matrix, in this illusion, in this simulation, everything is a reflection of your intention and your projection and your visualization. So you say what it is, and so it shall be. Now you may be going through situations right now in your life where you're like, nah, I'm not creating this. Nah, this situation ain't supposed to be this way. Nah, this shit is fucked up. How you gonna say I created this, Rob Blackstorm? Whatever situation you're in is created so you to learn lessons and for you to grow and develop within that situation, in this simulation. Do you know how many times you've probably been here? Yeah, y'all niggas think this is like your first and only life. If you back here, you did something fucked up in your past life to come back to this world the way it is with rapists, molesters, poor children, poor people, people hungry, people getting beaten, people getting abused. Bad news, health problems, health issues, all these things happening, right? On this planet, every day an animal gets up and it looks for the next animal to eat or the next thing to fuck. And you here with them. And the animal will eat you if you get caught slipping. If you don't have a house to live in, nigga, insects will start to eat your ass up if you out on the ground too long. Animals will find you if you out in the jungle and hunt your ass down and eat you. If you ain't have a house and you ain't live in the city, if you ain't have a fence, if you ain't have a door, and if you don't have that right now, you still don't have to worry about an animal eating you. But this is where you are. So you did something fucked up in the past to be here. So you got to rectify your past. You have to rectify your ancestral trauma, and your ancestral trauma is reflected in the trauma that you are reliving right now in the here and now. Right now in the here and now. And how do you dig into your past? You have to learn to meditate. You have to meditate. We are in the age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius, this is water-bearing season. You are made of 75 to 80% water. The earth is made of 75 to 85% water. You eat from the earth. The animals that you eat from the earth. So you eat from the earth, especially if you're vegan. Or if you just into a healthy lifestyle, you eat from the earth. The body that you have is an avatar. It's alone. It's alone for lessons. And if you're going through it, or if you've been through it, you got to find the lessons of what you've gone through and heal from it. And the way you heal is by going within. If you cannot meditate, shit, tap in. Get some Damiana. Get some mugwort. See if you can find some magic mushrooms. Ask for it. Ask your spirit for it. Ask your ancestors for it. If you don't have an altar, get one. Let me tell y'all something about altars. Y'all be thinking, oh, this altar shit and all this shit is fake by honoring your ancestors, right? This shit don't do nothing. I worked off Wall Street. I've seen the Jewish guys practicing having altars on their desk. Having little altars with crystals, with different stones and pictures. And certain sigils and symbols in their altars on their desk while they're making money. Pictures of family, pictures of auntie, grandma, grandfather. Juju, magic. You live on streets with dead people's names. You spend money that has dead people's names on it. Ancestral magic. The reason why Kwame Brown is winning right now on the internet with what he's saying, and also The attention that he's getting is not only because he's displaying manhood, also it's the message that he's delivering, also it's the way that it's delivering, and his message is that the people are powerful. This is what this era is all about. This is what this era is all about. He's like, yo, if these people are doing something, you have the power. It's in your hands. You can unsubscribe. You could not give any attention. You could not give any energy. Your body is where the currency is. Whatever you give energy to, whatever you give attention to, that is your currency. That is what you are given in exchange to the world. Just like there's an stock exchange, there's an energy exchange. Not just when you're having sex, sacred energy exchange, not just when you're busting a nut. There's an energy exchange when with whatever you're paying attention to. There's a give and a take always. There's a magnetic connection. There's always a circular flow of energy with whatever you're around. You got this big circle behind me. Who knows how this is going to come out, right? So in a shamanic practice, right? What homie's talking about? Kwame Brown, Mama's cooking. He said the Geechees don't play. The Geechees is indigenous Africans, indigenous melanated people who created Freetown, who built homes by hand, and they were imported from West Africa. The Geechee people were imported from West Africa as slaves because of their knowledge and their skills in making rice, their efficiency with using water and making rice, and their way they had agriculture and their laying of plots, right? The way they used design, right, for agriculture. The Europeans didn't have that at the time, and at the efficiency and at the speed. So they used these people not only for their bodies, but they used these people for their minds, and took it and ran with it. Seems like a familiar theme today. We create something, melanated beings. We create culture. We create whatever's new. We create whatever's hip. We create whatever's trendy. And then it gets amalgamated and taken. We have to get to a point where this magic isn't just for hexing people. This occult way of life, this highly spiritual way of life isn't just for getting money. This occult and the spiritual way of life isn't just for having knowledge and being woke. This occult and the spiritual way of life isn't just about saying who's right and who's wrong. This occult and the spiritual way of life is about upliftment, self-development, creation, and most importantly, self-mastery, emotional intelligence, creation, and the ultimate goal is peace of mind. Because when you have self-mastery, you have peace of mind. And all these things, these herbs, these divinations, and also what I want to tell y'all is start taking spirit baths, especially you men. Get into them herbal baths. It seems like it's something feminine, right? But it is, because it's water. But you got some emotions that you need to grind. You might have some mommy issues that you need to take care of, or some daddy issues that you need to take care of. And you need to dig into that emotional, that water part of the four elements, fire, earth, air, and water. You need to dig into that element. Ladies, y'all should definitely be doing baths. at least twice a month some spirit baths. I can't tell you what spirit bath to take because I don't know your situation. You can email me for a consultation, blackstormrob@gmail.com. I'll give you the price, I'll give you the time, and we'll go through it. We'll go through your astrological chart. We'll go through what crystals you may need. We'll go through what herbs you may need. We'll go through what bath you may need. And you take it from there. But this is about self-mastery. This is about developing power to push through challenges and to see the lesson within the challenges and to see how it's pushing you forward in life and how you need to be pushing forward and what you need to be pushing to. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. Because this is not only for you, this is for your children, or if you don't have children, this is for those that you surround yourself with. This is for your impact on the planet. This is what you're doing to make the world a better place after you leave it, and also make the world a better place while you're here. And a better place for you, shit. Even if you not, you know what I'm saying? This is not a save the world mission. This is a save yourself mission. Save the world means your attention is on everybody else but you. It means your attention is on everyone else but you. That you're not accepting the responsibility. See, the problem with Christianity, the big problem with Christianity, is Christianity taught us that someone else was going to save us. There's going to be a magician that's going to come out of the sky one day and save us. And some of y'all still waiting for that. The only difference is y'all waiting by the altar for the gods, for the Orishas, for a servitor, right? Y'all waiting for y'all what else y'all waiting for? Y'all waiting for the Orishas and the servitor to pop up out of nowhere, poopity boppity boop, and you magically save. You waiting for a magic man or a magic woman to save you. Yeah, you should partner up in a relationship. Relationships are important, not only for yourself personally, but for business too. You should definitely have relationships. Isolation is dangerous. They tell you that in 48 Laws of Power. If you watch any show, right, and life is a competition, don't let anybody tell you different, right? That's why on the Masonic Tracing Board, you see wisdom, strength, and beauty, right, on the Enter Apprentice Tracing Board. But the ladder is Jacob's ladder because there's always going to be challenges and there's always going to be things that you have to climb, because basically the reason that you're here is there's ancestral trauma that you have to cleanse. And the ancestors' trauma that you have to cleanse is you. As crazy as that sounds. As crazy as that sounds. And the thing is, it takes accountability. It takes accountability, and it takes a cold, hard look at yourself. And it takes a cold, hard look at your past. And your mom and the dad and the situations that you're going through. And the limits that you have now. And really confronting their limits and taking time to really think about where these things are coming from. Like some people go through their whole day and their night and they're so busy with everything. By the time they're finished, it's just time to watch TV and go to sleep. Then they wake up in the morning and do the same shit again. They don't even take 15 minutes for themselves to think. We got ancestral trauma. Y'all watch Roots and and 12 Years a Slave, and you know the Underground Railroad's on right now, and them, and y'all seen what happened? Y'all know what was going on? There's trauma if you melanated. And especially us calling ourselves black. How we've been conditioned to call ourselves black. You look in a, I mean, this was a Malcolm X movie, but look in a dictionary. at black. I was watching Assad Guru talk about black and shit. I was a shit. I was like, damn, I've been calling myself black forever because I've been conditioned. And he was like, black means death. Black means evil. Black means taken away. Black absorbs light. Black is an absorber. Black means death. And I was like, shit, you're fucking right. You know what I'm saying? Black does mean death. Black does mean there's no more, right? When you go into the blackness. It's an absorber. Melanin, melanin absorbs light, right? Melanin absorbs light and converts it to energy. Y'all that are melanated beings, make sure you guys get out and get some sun. Well, today, but tomorrow and this week, get out and get some sun. Let that sun hit you. Sweat a little bit. It's okay. Because what's happening is we have CMEs, coronal mass ejections right now, that are hitting the planet. So those of us that are melanated, please realize our body and our skin is just like Black Panther suit. If you want to understand melanin, all you got to do is watch Black Panther. You want to tell your children about how melanin works? Tell them it's like Black Panther suit. It's that simple. That's how melanin works. It takes in eumelanin in particular, not phenomelanin. You have 3 types of melanin. Phenomelanin, which is your the color that you appear, right? You have neuromelanin, which is in the brain. In fact, as you get older, you get more, your brain actually gets darker and darker, preparing you for going back into the old underworld passage, right? There's just in the Commission, the Book of Coming Forth by Day, which is what they call the Egyptian Book of the Dead today, right? That skyboat, that lovely skyboat, right, that you take into the underworld. And you go through another set of challenges and see if you become a star or you come right back to this motherfucker to learn more lessons. We have ancestral DNA and we have past relationships. We have past issues and past traumas that need to be resolved. And we can't keep blaming other people. We can't keep blaming the government. We can't keep blaming the white man. And this is not to say atrocities have not happened and bad things have not occurred to us that are melanated beings and thus who are indigenous to this planet. Everybody gets a turn though on the wheel of life. They told you that in Lion King. It's a circle of life. It's a circle of life. So things go round and round the bus. The wheels go round and round the bus, right? It's a circle of life. I got my amethyst on. Shout out to Mastery Foolish. Shout out to Hood Mystic. Shout out to Dreamwise. Shout out to the Spirit Doula. She was talking about the amethyst and how you got to put it out in the moon, not the sun. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I was putting it out in the sun all these years. But it still worked, But now I know that it's strong in the moon. And I won't leave it out in the sun. Maybe I'm weakening it. But that is you being humble enough to take in new information as it comes and correct yourselves. And a lot of y'all, they have something in your brain called a reticular activating system. And with the reticular activating system, what it is that everything that you see in front of you, you think everything. So reticular activating is this. Say you got chased by a dog as a kid, right? Let's not even use a dog. Let's say there was a light-skinned nigga named Scooby who smacked you, right? He smacked you he was a bully and he smacked you, right? Well, he was tough, you know what I'm saying? And you were scared. That's a traumatic event, right? That's a traumatic event. So you might see somebody that looks like him and has the same um, aggression and the same stance. And your response based on that traumatic event is going to put you in the situation where you're in fight or flight. Now, depending on how you took that event and the repetition of how it played out in your head, your brain's reticular activating system, what happens is if you say, okay, this is something I should cower from and become an introvert, then that is going to be how you perceive future situations of confrontation with an individual that may not even look like him, but may display those characteristics if you did not address them, right? Or you're going to go into fight mode and say, nah, this wasn't right. I should have did this. Or next time I learned my lesson from this, and next time I'm going to strike back. You know what I'm saying? Next time I'm going to knock him the fuck out, right? Or next time I'm going to be victorious. Or, you know what I'm saying? And run that program. Or at the time of impact, you decided to fight, right? And it led to you getting let's say you decided to fight, and it led to you getting a broken arm or something like that. There's going to be a reticular activating system that's going to put you in a fight or flight mindset for the next situation, right? Now, depending on how many times you get smacked by a Scooby, smacked by a light-skinned dude, right? How many times you get smacked up and beat up is going to form something where you think this is how you're supposed to be treated. It happens to people a lot of times when they get verbally abused, when they get physically abused, right? They believe this is what they deserve. They believe this is how they're supposed to be treated. And it's not even something that you realize, because your reticular activating system is always going to point you to what is familiar, to how you program yourself. This is a simulation. So everything is source code. Everything is source code. Everything is programming. Everything is software and hardware. Your body is the hardware, right? So you take care of it. You eat right. You work out, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? You eat right, hopefully. You work out, hopefully. You drink tea, hopefully. You take certain supplements, hopefully. You walk, hopefully. You read, hopefully. You watch things that edify you and strengthen you, hopefully. You stay away from the toxic news channels as much as possible, hopefully. So the more you do these things, the more your reticular activating system starts to recognize where these, that's a street light. The more your reticular activating system starts to recognize these things, right? And again, it puts you in. So sometimes, because like you talk to people, and because they've been programmed, they've been hardwired in a certain mindset for so long, their reticular activating system, they can't accept it as truth. There's a scientific study, and I believe I posted it on my Instagram stories too. There's a scientific study that said people, there's a scientific study that said people who are placed under fear, right? Repetitive fear images and trauma, right? And even if it, and you could program them with that, basically can't recognize the truth. They can't recognize the truth. You could program someone with fear so long, right? You develop what else do they call it? Damn, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's gonna come to me. But yeah, you get beat up so much, and I think I think I forgot this before. But when you get beat up so much, you start to love your abuser, right? You start to love the abuse. You start to condition yourself. Some people They've been in drama and they love drama and they feed off drama and they feed off issues and they feed off negativity. It's a program that they're running. Their reticular activating system will not allow them to recognize that they're running this program. And some people are so happy, so positive, and so cheery, right? Some people are on the other end of the spectrum, right? And their reticular activating system is showing them other things that are putting them there, right? You're an electromagnetic being. The electricity is the energy that you put out. The magnetism is what you receive in return. That is what you call your aura. Now, your auric field or your Taurus field, this is something that can be manipulated through the use of hoodoo, through the use of herbs, through the use of how Kwame said, your mama's cooking. That's why baths are so essential, because we're in the age of Aquarius right now. The water bearing is ruled by air. So we want to carry a certain electromagnetic field, a certain aura around us. So these spirit baths will help you manipulate the energy that is within you. And again, I can't prescribe a bath because I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what you're going through. Everybody has different conditions. Everybody needs different prescriptions. So you could come to me. Again, we'll do a consultation, shamanic consultation, go through your astrology, go through the herbs you may need, go through on reading, and see what's up with you, right? Because everybody's prescription is different. But I ain't hexing nobody for you. I will make you more lovable, and I will show you how to attract that money. But I ain't hexing nobody for you. And if you really want to separate with somebody, I'll show you how to do that too, how to disconnect, right? Now, just because you do let me say this too, just because you do a spell to disconnect or separate with somebody, it just means that you basically are severing the connection. It doesn't mean that the person won't come back. It doesn't mean that you won't even try to get back with them or have a relationship with them at some point. It just means that you're severing the emotional connection. And you could do that with a black walnut bath. A lot of people are going through breakups. I'm seeing it on my timelines. You know what I'm saying? So you could do that, get a black walnut bath. And when you take these baths, if you can't take a bath, it's okay. But if you can take a bath, make it as peaceful and as luxurious and as music-filled and as wonderful as possible. And say your prayers, right? Custom make your prayers to your own liking, to your own spirits, because you are an individual. You have a unique fingerprint. You are your own person. No one's going in the grave with you but you. Even if your bones separate, it's still you. So, I'm going to get off here soon. We got to get to the point to where we are utilizing astrology, we're utilizing herbology. And you don't have to smoke this stuff. You could drink this stuff as a tea as well. Like mugwort, damiana, you could definitely drink them as a tea. You could definitely drink mushroom tree, the active ingredient in mushrooms, magic mushrooms, is psychobilin. I always have trouble pronouncing that. Psychobilin or something like that. But look it up. Just, and you don't even have to type it. You could just say it in Google. What is the active ingredient in magic mushrooms? And it'll come up. And that is what helps heal you and helps you transform and helps you look at your individual issues. And I'm going to past scenarios in my life and seeing how they have shaped me. And going back to times where I have developed certain fight or flight responses based on scenarios that I've been in. And what I'm doing is using the herbs, and also that shout out to my mama's cooking for the wisdom, because she's the one that was in the kitchen and that was telling me about the herbs early in the game when I was younger. And sometimes when you go through certain trauma with your parents, you forget the good that they actually gave you. You forget the light that they actually shined on you. And sometimes that means that even, sometimes even though you might have a parent or parents that are toxic or guardians that are toxic, you got to forgive them, not for them, but for you, so that you could let it go. That doesn't mean you're going to be around them, doesn't mean you have to associate, but it does mean that you've become your own person. You become your own man, you become your own woman. At this point, you've grown, you've transformed, you're seeing the light, and you're growing. And it means that you are able to leave and recode the attachment to the pain of that experience. You are able to recode that through meditation, through going within, through doing certain rituals like this during full moon, during super moons. There's another one coming up in 2 weeks. So if you see this late and you missed it, it's okay. There's another one coming up in 2 weeks. This is one of the greatest times to be alive. One of the greatest times in the world to be alive. You crazy? Being alive is great now. You're in nature. And what we're trying to do is raise our energy, frequency, and vibration. And through raising energy and frequency and vibration, to be an antenna to our ancestors so we could get wisdom. The Freemasons, they call the word God, Gumar Oz Dubar, right? Gumar Oz Dubar. The Greek, Gumar Oz Dubar. Wisdom, strength, and beauty. Wisdom is always first, though. And wisdom is the mother, the black woman. The wisdom is the dark matter. Wisdom is the birth, right? Women, melanated women, sorry, I said black women. Melanated women, the giving birth is to give birth to wisdom. Giving birth to wisdom to your children, giving birth to wisdom to your men. You know what I'm saying? Primarily. That is what it is. And we recognize that it is a birthing process. The same way you birth children, you birth things into existence through the mind, through the womb of the mind. Just like your body has a womb, sisters, the mind is a womb. And it's wisdom. You have to choose the mate to enter you, unless you, of course, there's other situations, right? But you have to choose the mate to enter you. That's wisdom. If you're going to survive even a violent encounter, right? There has to be wisdom involved. With a male sexually, there has to be wisdom involved in how to deal with that. Right? So wisdom is always first. You're listening to something like this, you're seeking wisdom. You want something from the underworld, from the subconscious. What they call it, the subconscious. The subconscious is the underworld, but the underworld is the inner world in you. That inner darkness in you. That childhood trauma in you. That shadow in you that you don't show to everybody. But what's going to happen to you, and what's going to happen to all of us, if we don't address it, these next couple of weeks, it's going to slap us in the face in different areas, in different ways, in different changes. And we're going to meet face to face in ourselves, in our reflections of the things that we are putting out into the universe. So you can email me, blackstormrob@gmail.com, blackstormrob@gmail.com for these consultations. Don't waste my time. They're not free. I'll email you the price, and we'll sit down for 45 minutes to an hour and do this diagnosis. Also, the classes are coming back. Those of y'all that I have missed, I'm going to do it in a form to where I just record them, and then We'll do an hour session if you have follow-up questions, or you can email me with follow-up questions. Right now, it's been inefficient for me to do them one-on-one, because what happened is there were other things happening that were taking up my time, and I realized that that's like having it's like a job, you know what I'm saying, doing the one-on-ones like that. Maybe it's sometime in the future, right? But for now, what I'm going to do is, now that I'm, you know what I'm saying, back in the city for a little bit, I'm going to record them. And this way you could just go, I'll send you the private link. You could just go through them at your own time, at your own pace. And then if you have any follow-up questions, you can email me, you know what I'm saying, and we can set up a time for you to go. Also, I got the merch, thirdeyeWise.com. I don't have any hoodies right now, but this is my Archangel Fred hoodie. Of course, there is Sigil Magic protection seals also for yourself, and the Ancestor Fred, who was a revolutionary, and Ancestor Fred, who was trying to unite everybody. Black, white, brown, people who were oppressed. And if you want to be the light in the world, basically, we got to change that too. Those of us that are melanated, we got to look for those that we see the light in. Because part of being people that absorb light and convert it to energy, like I said, just tell your kids, if you want to understand melanin, even for yourself, just watch Black Panther again. Look at what Shuri said a suit does. Again, the wisdom. Shuri told him what the suit does and what the power of his suit. And he was the strength as the man to go out and perform with the suit, which is the womb of your mind, your subconscious mind, right? And the masculine energy is now for you to go and create something. Use these hands, use these feet, use this mouth, and create something from whatever image that you conjured in your mind, and what you could do to move towards that, and what steps you can make. And this is something that we all have to do. But with Saturn in retrograde, it's going to take new rules. It's going to take new structures. It's going to take new way of doing things. It's going to take a new way of doing things. With Pluto doing retrograde, it's going to take new sources of power. It's going to take new sources of inspiration. And not to say that everything is just going to change, but it's going to be looking at the past and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't work. And there's going to be things in all of our lives. Mercury's going to be retrograde. That deals with technology, communication issues in a couple of days. Right? So it's going to be an interesting time. We're in Gemini season, the twins, right? We're in this particular full moon is in Sagittarius, and which is ruled by Jupiter. So the energy is here. Get your scripting, start writing these things out, your new plans, your new visions, your new way of moving. Do your mirror magic, your mirror work, talking to yourself, repeating, affirming yourself, visualizing yourself, and feel these things. Don't just say them. Feel them. Feel them in your heart. Feel them in your corazon. Feel them in your soul. Feel these things. Become these things. When we talk about honoring our ancestors, or even working with orishas, or doing deity work, or working with servitors, right? We are basically, when we're talking about working with orishas or working with ancestors, right? It's not to worship the orisha. It's not to worship the deity. It's not to give venerance, so much venerance to the deity that you forget you are one. You are trying to invoke that deity. If you are working with Oshun, for instance, you should be going out looking pretty. You should be in the mirror. She has a mirror Oshun. You should be in the mirror affirming yourself. You should be in the mirror telling yourself you're gorgeous, you're beautiful, right? Even if you're a male working with Oshun, you should be, because some people are patron, and Oshun is just Het Heru in the Egyptian pantheon. And Het Heru is Het house. Heru are basically gonads, right? Balls, strength, right? So it's the house of balls, the house of sexuality, right? Um, the house of lust, even. You know what I'm saying? The house, but that's all magnetism, right? That's all magnetism. But magnetism comes from what? The womb. What you start to visualize, your wisdom. Because what you start to visualize, the wisdom of what you start to visualize is what manifests. The wisdom of what you visualize is what manifests in life. The more you visualize it repeatedly, that's what manifests. And the life that you're living this year, if you really, again, take time to think about it, and this takes taking time to think about it, this takes taking time to think about it, and you see things happening over and over and over and over in the negative, and you're pointing the finger at someone else or something else, you have to sit back and ask yourself, what role am I playing in this? What could I be doing that's causing this? You can't be playing victim. What patterns am I repeating? What thoughts am I having during the day? What are my daydreams about? What are my visions about? What am I saying about life circumstances and life events on a repetitive basis? This is about accountability. This walk is about accountability. This walk is about accountability. This walk is not about perfection. We all go through shit. We all go through shit. There's not a man, woman, or child alive that ain't got problems, ain't got issues, and ain't got shit that pop up. But at the end of the day, it's about accountability. And you got to be accountable for your actions, and you got to be accountable for the consequences. And if you didn't cause the problems even, you got to be accountable for how you fix them. And right now with this supermoon, there's a lot of people that are going to be acting crazy because they don't know why they're feeling so intense. So also be protected. You know what I'm saying? Get your black tourmaline, your onyx, your crystals, you know what I'm saying? And just tap into your ancestors and ask them for protection. If you don't even need all these crystals and stones and ornaments. Don't get me wrong, I have them on right now, right? But these are just to enhance my aura. But these are already in me. Tiger's eye is in me. I am made of all the elements. I am made of stardust. I am beyond this earth. You are beyond this earth. You are made of stardust. This is a peer-reviewed scientific fact. You're made of stardust. So we're limiting ourselves like we're humans. We're limiting ourselves as humans. As humans, we're limiting ourselves as kings and queens. The crown that the king and the queen wears is referencing that the crown of thorns, that claustrum that I was telling you about earlier. It is in your brain. Look it up. That's a scientific peer-reviewed fact. That lights up every time you have a lunar return, every month. When your sun sign transit, when the moon is in Scorpio, right? I'm a Scorpio, so when the moon is in Scorpio, that's when my claustrum is lit. That's heavy meditation time. That's spiritual guidance time. That's when I should be going within. That's when, if I am having sex, I am engaging in semen retention, right? These are things I should be doing. Does this happen all the time? No. Because life is about yin and yang. However, most of the time, that should be a thing, right? and you need to be in tune. There's an app, Astro Matrix. I've talked about it on these videos. If you're just tapping in, shout out to you, right? Get Astro Matrix. I like it. It's very good. But there's all the apps. See what works for you. This is your life. Be accountable. These are your choices. But I think Astro Matrix is great. It's a great start, even for breaking down your astrology chart, and it's free. You can download it on your phone right now. And I think it's great at breaking down your chart and showing where your planets are, and the shit you need to work on and work through. But right now, all of us are working through our past. And with Mercury going retrograde, it's going to be working on how you communicate, and how you've communicated, and how you communicate with others. So there's going to be challenges and things thrown your way to see if you are ready to transform. And the next eclipse in June, I believe it's in Gemini too. The next eclipse. But it's coming up in 2 weeks. So this is going to be a highly emotional window. Watch out for things in the news, lies, deceptions. There's going to be a lot of new things coming out. There's going to be a lot of ways to try to trap you into old ways of thinking, outmoded ways of thinking. A lot of fear-based shit that's going to pop up. Be careful. Watch your influences, the people that surround you, the people that you surround yourself with. Be vigilant. A lot of us have addictions. A lot of us self-medicate. Now, we're self-medicated around people that we say that we love. But because we're dealing with so much trauma from them, right? You self-medicate to escape, to eventually, you don't even realize that that's why you're doing it. Reticular activating system. But you get some of your mama's cooking and tap into some of that wisdom. And even if your mama ain't give you a lot of wisdom, right? You didn't have a mother, so to speak, right? Some women out there gave you some wisdom. And y'all fellas need to tap into a lot of these women, and not just for sexual reasons. Y'all need to tap into these women so you can get some wisdom teachings, some spiritual teachings, some teachings on how to heal your mind, your soul, and your body to make you more efficient. Because we need men. The masculine aspect is after you have the concept in the womb, right? After the idea or the child, right, is created and birth happens. Now the child has to become active. It has to grow and learn. And you, as a man, is representing the strength of the child walking, the strength of the child talking, the strength of the child learning, the strength of the child developing, right? All these things take strength. Even your sperm hitting the egg takes strength. That is the masculine. And the combination, right? Guma Oz Dubar, wisdom, strength, and beauty. The last is beauty. The child is beauty. The birth, the actual conception of wisdom and strength together, woman and man, the masculine and feminine. I was watching Castlevania, right? They called it the rebus, right? The fusing, the fusing of the masculine and feminine, which would create basically an angel, right, around you, an oversoul, so to speak. This is when your ancestors are fully tapped in, and you get that wisdom, and you get that knowledge, and you get them downloads, them beyond digital, the metaphysical downloads, not digital downloads, the metaphysical downloads. But this is not about knowing dates of things. This is not about historical facts. This is not about data. I mean, the universe is built on math, right? It's built on zeros and ones, right? But the quantum universe isn't built on zeros and ones. Quantum universe is built on light. And you will, melanated man, are a light absorber. Melanated woman are a light absorber. And even if you are non-melanated, you are a light absorber as well. You just don't absorb as much. So you have to do more to tap in. And that's why when y'all are in power, right, non-melanated people, the world is the way it is. Because of the fact that you don't absorb enough light, and light is what connects us all and helps us all grow. It's light. Light is information. Light is knowledge. If you're in the dark about something, it's because you don't have knowledge. Now, we reconstructed darkness, those of us that are melanated, to mean something else, but we need to, we really should say you melanated, but we need to recapture the essence of what it is, because that you melanin is the dark matter within us. That you melanin is dark matter within us. That you melanin is that quick twitch that they can't study in the labs, that they can't put down. It keeps twitching, it keeps moving. There's no father to a style. It's like ODB in the lab. It keeps bouncing. Keeps bouncing. That's what you contain. You contain dark matter. You have condition. You have the ability to transform yourself and transmute yourself if you thou wilt. And the universe right now is supporting you. Your connection to the universe is saying, hey, it's time to open up. It's time to tap into that psychic ability. It's time to tap into your mama's cooking. It's time to tap into the womb, your ancestral memory, man and woman, and teach your children. Again, one way is meditation. These bats, because we are in a water-bearing season, right? Gemini, if I remember correctly, is also air sign. So when you are moving about throughout your day, right, you have your 75-85% water, and I'm gonna close soon. You're 75-85% water, and I want to put this together and just put it out before it gets too late. But you're 75-85% water, and what you want to do, and I don't even know what time it is. It might even be time where I should be on the moon, but you're 75-85% water. So what happens when you move, you sweat, right? You sweat, even light sweat, which is why you take showers. If you don't sweat, you're going to build up dirt in your body, and eventually your skin's going to eat you alive, right? Your skin's going to eat you alive with sickness and illness. So you sweat. So you're bearing water every day. You're a water bearer every day. And what happens when you sweat? Eventually that water doesn't stay on your body, right? It dries up, but does it go? You have water is the element that turns solid, liquid, and gas, right? H2O, solid, liquid, and gas. So what happens when it goes into this gaseous state? In this gaseous state, it forms your electromagnetic field. It forms your aura. So when you're walking throughout your day and you're visualizing the worst events in your life and how fucked up shit could be, and you're basing it off your past trauma, guess what? When you're cleaning your house, when you're listening to music, or your music is constantly negative and reaffirming, or you're just taking in information that fits your reticular activating system, and you're not really actively trying to change, and you have these influences that just confirm what you already know, you're going to continue to create the same reality. This is a very transformative time. This is a great time to be alive. But remember, again, the goal is to embody the Orisha that you're working with. The goal is to embody the energy of the ancestor that you are honoring. The goal is to embody the greatness of grandma, grandpa, uncle this, the uncle that is guiding you, that you are paying homage to on your altars. The goal is to imbue that spirit within yourself. If you're working with Shango as a male or a woman, right? You're gonna have to be more fiery, right? You're gonna have to be able to because the Shango, right, is Herakuhuti in the Kemetic pantheon, and that's not only so he holds the machete, right? He holds the machete, and that's for cutting off the snakes, right? The heads of a pet, what the Egyptian, the Cometians would say, right? The Egyptians, the head of a pet, the snakes, the Kundalini, the bad vibes, the bad energy, the bad visions, the fears, the insecurities, the anxieties, right? And cutting them off and replacing them with new coding, new programming, new linguistics, new energy. Y'all need frequency generators on your phones. Y'all need to generate frequencies in your homes. Tap into these isochronic tones, these binaural beats. Tap into these mantras, right? Tap into these mantras in the mornings. Tap into these mantras during the day and create your own that you repeat during your daydreams, that you repeat in the shower, that you repeat when you're cooking, that you repeat when you're driving your bike, that reaffirm the future that you want to see and not the past that you have and the future that you want to create. And the more you do that, the more you bear that water when you're walking, when you're sweating, when you're cooking, when you're exercising, when you're having sex, tantra, and you create this electromagnetic field and this aura, and you're bearing this water, and you're engaged in more Mommas cooking, which is the hoodoo, right? The folk magic, where you're dealing with the herbology. Great book, Cunningham Encyclopedia of Herbs. Tap into that. But also, if you feel like there's something that you need, look up spirit baths. And not just for hexing, not just to get a lover back, not just for money. Not to say you don't need none of those things, right? Because that's up to you. But if you don't have good character, if you're not securing yourself, if you're suffering from PTSD constantly, if you're suffering from depression constantly, if you're suffering from anxiety constantly, if you're suffering from procrastination constantly, if you're suffering from a lack of discipline constantly, if you're suffering from a lack of integrity constantly, a lot of us people can't rely on our words, on what we say, or what we say we're going to do. A lot of us can't rely on our words to ourselves. So how can we tell somebody something and it's going to come true? And we have to figure out in our own individual lives the origins of these stories that we tell ourselves. The origins of why we feel unpretty. The origins of why we don't feel handsome. The origins of why we feel we can't make it. The origins of why we tell ourselves, oh, this is enough money. Oh, I'm comfortable with this. The origins of why we feel like, oh, the black community, the melanated community, will always be down. Why we story that when a police officer stops us, that we have to be fearful. These are programs that are being installed in our brain. Save the Asians and all that, stop Asian hate. That's a program that's being installed in your brain. Black Lives Matter is a program that's being installed in your brain. Get the jab is a program that's being installed in your brain. If you don't wear a mask, you'll get sick is a program that's being installed in your brain. Let me tell y'all something. I had a child cough in my face, right? This was about 2 months ago now, maybe almost 2 months ago. I got sick the next day. Me and most of the family was sick, right? No panic, no thinking, oh, I'm gonna die. Got some black seed oil, mama's cooking. Black seed oil. Got some elderberry, mama's cooking. Hoodoo, right? A lot of y'all just voodoo. You gotta tap into the voodoo and the orishas, the ancestors, the saints, and the hoodoo also, the herbology, right? This way you put body and mind together. Voodoo is for the mind, right? The magic is for the mind, the hoodoo is for the body. I got some elderberry, some black seed oil, colloidal silver, and some cod liver oil, I believe, right? And some orange juice, right? We gave it to myself, gave it to the family. Within 2 days, everybody was cured. No panic, no shots, no worries. What they say in the Wiz, if you believe in yourself. A lot of us don't know how powerful we really are. We just got to break the cage that we're trapped in. And the cage that we're trapped in is a result of the programming that we've had in our past and the result of the programming of the ancestral trauma that we've gotten from our parents and we've gotten from past lives. And how do you address the trauma of past lives? The trauma of past lives is addressing you now, nigga. So, yo, even if you're watching this late, I appreciate you tapping in with me. Those of you who I do all time for free classes, those who I do all time for your paid classes, we will still be doing those. I'll be closing. That's only 2 people, so I'll be closing those out. But the elemental magic classes will be back soon. Right now, I'm really, for the next couple of weeks, focusing on doing these consultations. When I do the videos, I'll be talking about them. But yeah, I'm about to go tape this together real quick to put this out for y'all, for the people. The main point is tap into your mama's cooking. You know what I'm saying? Tap into this is nature, right? You call it Mother Earth. Tap into nature, right? In the Bronx, this is called an urban oasis. I said, oh, y'all calling this an urban oasis? So this is an oasis. So basically, right? So this is coding, right? This is programming. So the program is that this is meant to be an oasis away from what's going on in the urban area. So I'm going to make this an oasis. I'm going to program this code in the matrix. This is a simulation as an oasis. So when I come here, it's an oasis for me. And I get downloads. And I get visions. And I get inspiration. And I get healing. You know what I'm saying? I get healing and I get wisdom. So wisdom now can lead to strength, and that wisdom is strength. That wisdom from the woman and the strength of the masculine energy of me going do it, the wisdom of me getting the thought and download, and the masculine energy of strength of me doing it now leads to beauty. And that's God, Guma Oz Dubar. Wisdom is why we're here. Wisdom is why you're hearing me talking about electromagnetic fields and herbs and you know what I'm saying, stars and moons and shit, when you could be listening to, you know what I'm saying, everything else that's out here on the internet. You want wisdom so that you could become stronger, so that you could become more powerful. And that wisdom and your strength will edify you and make you feel more pretty too. Make you feel beautiful. And sometimes that beauty may be in a fucked up way initially because you've been hurt. So you get this information, you learn about these magic, you learn about magic, you learn about these voodoo and the hoodoo, and you learn how to use it in ways that are selfish. But now, in this retrograde season, you better chill, because you're going back into your past and lessons unlearned are going to reveal itself. We got another supermoon coming up in 2 weeks. Everything's going to get exposed. You see how Mama's Cooking is exposing, Kwame Brown is exposing what happened with the NBA, what's happening with these NBA players, and how they're talking down on black men, and how they're kowtowing. You know, working in corporate America, one of the worst things to see is one of the worst things to see is an older black man that you know is kissing a white man's ass, an older melanated man that you know is kissing a white man's ass to keep his job, because he's scared, because he knows if he loses his job, how's he going to feed himself and his family? And he done made so many bad decisions that this is it. So he has to kiss up because he know he's a black man, and they already look down on him already, and they already looking for a reason. That's just the way it is in corporate America. You got to prove yourself on a consistent basis. I've worked in it for years, I know. And there's a glass motherfucking ceiling. You know what I'm saying? For most of us. Some of us play that game and the cutthroat game and, you know, the backbiting game and, you know, the bullshit game. Some of us play it really well. Those of us that have integrity, right? Those of us that have character, those of us that have wisdom. And wisdom is a gift from the collective. Wisdom is a gift from Mama Moon, from nature, from Mother Earth. Wisdom is a gift from the cells in your body. This is called a blood moon, right? So this is the blood. This is within your blood. This is within your DNA. Some of y'all's DNA got nanobots in it right now, but there's herbs for that. There's Mama's cooking for that, right? Yo. Again, shout out to Kwame Brown. Shout out to him for the inspiration. For black men to get back on their deen. For showing young black men what it is to be a man, for shit. Aspiring not so young men like me on what it is to be a man and what really matters. You know what I'm saying? It's a guy who came out, no fancy clothes, no bling bling, no jewelry, and all he's talking about is ancestor veneration. Your mama's cooking is ancestor veneration. His mother, he's talking about his dead mother. That's his ancestor. So he's actually invoking the spirit of his ancestor every time he talks. And the ancestors saying, I'm tired of this shit. Get at everybody. He's trying to get the Breakfast Club canceled. Yo. And he said, yo, I'm subscribed from the Breakfast Club, and people are unsubscribing. And they should. If they not going to terminate this guy, and I'm not even saying that I want to, because I watch the Breakfast Club. I like their interviews, but I watch the Breakfast Club particularly for the interviews. Like if they're not talking about nothing or whatever, like I'm really watching it for the interviews, for the people that they bring on, right? And their content. You know what I'm saying? I never really liked Charlemagne with the I shouldn't have said his name, but I'm not really there to watch like the you know what I'm saying, the gay stuff, and you know what I'm saying, nothing against the gays, you know what I'm saying, if that's what you want to do, but I'm not really there for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really there for him or Envy or Ye. I'm there for the guest. However, with these allegations, right? How can you sit there and sit next to him? You know, after all these things have been revealed, how can you sit there and have this guy still employed when this guy has not apologized to this 15-year-old girl that made amends in some way, shape, form, or fashion? You say Black Lives Matter, but do they matter if there's money involved? As a man and a woman, there's some things you have to die for. There's some things that you have to be willing to die for. You have to be willing to stand on and die. And these are the things that take time and seasoning. Just like it takes time to cook your food, you need to season your mind. What food for thought are you taking on a daily basis? What food are you taking into your belly on a day-to-day basis? How are you nurturing yourself? That's your mama's cooking. Or set in the beginning. And I'm going to try to cut this soon, because it's already an hour and 19 minutes. But in the beginning, right, when we had the Cometians, the people of ancient Kemet, had mystery schools, you had to go into the temple of Set first. They call it the temple of Isis now. The temples of Isis were the most prevalent, because you need to be nurtured, and the part of the nurturing is you being devoted to this path you to be devoted to raising your energy frequency, vibration, and higher consciousness and higher character so you can become a person of nobility. Your job was to be a nobleman. Your job was to be like the people of Wakanda, to have character, to have grace, to have dignity, but to still tap into your ancestors. Go back and watch Black Panther. Maybe you missed it. It's Mama Moon. Oh, there she is. But yeah, I'm going to close this out. I say peace, power, and prosperity. Let me know what you think. Leave it down in the comments. I love y'all. Thank you for sticking with me. Life is yin and yang. You have ups, you have downs, but it's what you do to get back up. And it's what you tap into that'll help you get back up. Again, shout out to Hood Mystic. Shout out to Priestess Osset Ra Amen. Shout out to Dreamwise. Shout out to Spirit Doula. I've been tapping in lately. Who else I've been tapping into? Of course, Kwame Brown. It's crazy. The guy that was the underdog is now the overdog, and he don't need nobody's platform. And that's what we need to get to. That we need to start linking up, as I always say, and form collectives and startups, because now is the time. Resolving all this trauma, we need to learn to trust each other. And one of the things even I'm working on is learning to trust black men, because I've been hurt and scarred by black men. Not the same way black women have, but I've been hurt and scarred to where I've been betrayed, I've been misled, I've been manipulated most of my life. You know what I'm saying? And I've done business with people, and I have friends of people of other cultures in different situations, and I've had better experiences. I'll be honest. This is my life experience. So my trauma, though, is going back into these spaces where, in the environments that I were in and that were I placed, and the people that I was placed around growing up, and realize that they're placed under trauma as well. You understand? And it's not my job to judge them. It's not my job to look for what's wrong in them either, to protect myself. It's my job to look at what's best in them and strengthen and amplify that. And still protect myself based on the wisdom and experience and me learning the lessons of life as I go along. And that's what all these challenges and all these problems and all these issues, even breakups and relationships and things like that, they're all lessons. And all these lessons are designed to bring us back to peace. So if you're in the bed and you can't get up and you're depressed, it's okay, feel it through. But find your way back up. Get on your ass and get back up. If you're down, you're broke, so I understand. But get back, you on the phone, you on the computer, take some time out and figure out a plan, a strategy. Get a pen and paper. Put it down, make it realistic. Step by step. What can you do? What can you find? How can you get there? What resources do you have? What friends do you know? And if you burn all these bridges, figure out how you can mend these bridges, maybe to help you. Because everybody needs somebody. Don't let what J. Cole said, pride is the devil. Don't let pride be your fall. Don't let pride be your fall. We all need somebody, and we all it's a natural urge for us to want to connect with each other. This is why a baby, if you didn't give a baby love and affection, I don't care if you give a baby the best vegan food and put him in a Louis Vuitton motherfucking basket and you know what I'm saying, and Versace slippers or whatever, Versace bonnets or whatever you want to put the baby in, right? Versace bibs and all that, right? That baby will die on you if you don't give it affection, because we all are hardwired to connect with each other. The mind is all mentalism, and we all have a mind, don't we? Even a crazy motherfucker, so-called crazy motherfucker, has a mind. So we all have a womb. We are all connected. We're all interconnected through a worldwide web. They just found out that there's a web through using they just found out through using um through using light, right? Because we're going into higher frequencies, right? We're in 5G right now, right? They told you they're putting these 5G towers up, so we're in higher frequencies. That's why all these people were dropping when they first started installing the towers, right? But we ain't gonna talk about that because that's old news, right? Just like they showed y'all that um, this USA is falling. In the beginning, the sign and symbol was the assault on the Capitol, right? But we forgot that because we're moving on, and there's all these other distractions and news stories that took us away from us keeping track of the environment that we are in. We're so easily distracted that we forget the signs and symbols that are right in front of us. That's the reticular activating system. I probably should have went live with this, but it's okay. That's okay. The fact is that the message is out. And we need to season and cook and marinate. Meditation is the way. Yoga is one of the ways. Running is one of the ways. Working out is one of the ways. Mugwort. And not just mugwort and Damiano all the time, but also, not just mushrooms either, but also whatever herbs that you may need for your condition, right? I use a host of other herbs during the day. That's that hoodoo for your body, because your body is your currency. Your mind, right, it's an attention economy, right? So the attention is how they hook you. But when you make that move to spend the money with your card, right, that's your currency. When you make the move to go in your wallet, that's the currency. But the attention is how they hook the mind with attention, right? With attention. That's why it's called paying attention, because there's always an exchange of energy. So let's heal. It's not going to be a one-day thing. I like to look for these things that pop up and use awareness, right? To use awareness, we all listen to hip hop. Well, the word hip hop, the first word hip deals with awareness. Hop is going movement to the awareness. So the awareness is the mother, the ma'ater, dark ma'ater, ma'at. There is no such thing as matter if we live in a state of stimulation. Everything is just frequency and vibration. Things that you think that are solid are just slowed down. Frequency and vibration. Things that are not solid, that you can't see, is sped up frequency and vibration. We see less than 1%. We see less than 1% of the visual universe. 99 point something percent of what is around me right now, beyond all these beautiful things and the moon. I think I lost the moon. I think the moon, the moon's back there, is invisible. We cannot see with the naked eye or with current instruments, but you can see with the first eye if you tap in, if you choose to. And these things can be learned and can be discovered, but you have to have a hunger for it. You have to have a hunger for your mama's cooking. You have to have a hunger for that seasoning. You have to have a hunger for this food and this food for thought. And this particular path, because it's not for everybody. You got to find what your path is. But this path is designed to take you to your purpose, what your purpose is. But your purpose is part of helping the collective. That's why you are here on this planet, to ascend it and make it better for others who go through their journey. To make it better for others who come behind you and go through their hero's journey as well. Go through this journey, this 100-something year journey in this avatar body, if you so live that long. So that you can learn, grow, and develop. Let me know how you feel in the comments. Let me know how this resonated with you. Peace, power, and prosperity to everyone. Happy blood moon. Happy blood moon to everybody. Happy Wednesday. Peace, power, and prosperity again. Rob Blackstorm. Like, share, subscribe. I love you.